would you expect to pay? I mean, you would only be hoping to pay $2,000 to $3,000 a year. For somebody that's got a mortgage, $400,000, $500,000 mortgage, you've got to really have a really good income to be able to be paying your rates.
One of the problems that we have in terms of our rating system is the structure. It's broken. We have to pay 15% of all of our rates to central government in GST. But they don't pay any rates on their buildings, that the council services. Churches don't pay rates on their buildings, that the council services. So what happens is your parents with 2 kids and a low income are covering the cost of all of those other places that don't pay rates. So it's not about how much should we be charging people, it's how we're working out our rates increase, where it comes from. I've sat through a couple of long-term plans where all the costing gets put in a bucket and they work out how much money comes from rates, how much we can comfortably increase rates by before people will squawk too much, then how much we can reasonably borrow before people squawk too much, and then what additional charges we're going to charge, and then what can we shave off and not give you for the extra rates increase and for the debt you've got to service. That model has to change. And when that model has to change, we can then look at what is an acceptable level, not one that we're comfortable with, because as far as I'm concerned, any sort of rates is too much. But we need to look at a model that is then fair across the board.
Just trying to calm myself down. This is going to have me popping off. What we do know is historically, for decades, there's been systemic issues with rates. And it's always been at the expense of communities. And you can go back to decisions that we made from central government to local government now to where we are today. And part of that is making the tough decisions, which has increased. I hold myself to account. I'm part of it. And then when you mentioned about not just the average rates for families, especially for young families, there were initiatives that put down from government to build more social housing. There were real initiatives where they will build in urban areas and then people will shift because there'll be employment there. There are already answers that currently exist that we need to investigate. In terms of a rates cap, I'm open to it. And I know there'll be the argument that will say, or suggest that it will, we will do what we've done, which is the lack of investment in infrastructure. But you have to be open to these ideas. One of them is that you can allow spending to be more efficient and effective. You can allow for priorities. Now, it is subjective. What are council's priorities? But there are priorities there. It's about prioritising what is stated in law. But you have to be open to something like rates capping so you can allow breathing space for farming. Kia ora.
The answer to the question with the scenario of the children and the 4 people in the home, I think anything over 4,000 is too much. As an experiment, not to be righteous, I decided to live on my councillor wage, gross 60,000, and not do any other work, just work full-time, serving the community. I might dress well, I live frugally, it's tight, it's manageable. I think it would be completely unattainable for an average family. It's out of control. I know Max Bruff has advocated, as other aspirants have, for a rate review. We had the rate review that we weren't really having a rate review, and we had ad nauseam workshops on reviewing our financial strategy, and the leadership didn't want the rate review. The officers did. I got and I shouldn't give in-house stuff. The officers, I think, kind of like the idea, well, let's look at a capital value versus land value. And Max was on the case, and Max got a victory over the status quo. He got the commercial differential reduced from over 4% down to 3%. And he was banging on his power co-paying rates on council-owned land. What about our supermarkets? So I think if Max is successful, he's definitely committed to a rates review.
I remember one year we were setting the rates and I wasn't very happy with them. And my contribution to the closing debate was I challenged my fellow councillors that if they saw a ratepayer, they should kiss them. And I had a few quizzical looks as to why should we kiss ratepayers. And I said, well, they'd like a bit of foreplay before being screwed.
Well done.
Where's the fourth estate?
Oh, dear me. Oh, that's a classic. That's good not to end on the
Again,
night.
thank you very much. The candidates that are here that have come along tonight and answered our questions. There's one final question, and that is, we know that Max has got the Mayor's office downtown, and it's a bit of a place for people to drop into and ask questions. But in fairness for our candidates here, can you each tell us where people might want to ask you questions themselves outside of this forum? What's the best way for them to contact you and be able to have those discussions?
On Facebook, on email, on telephone, and it's pretty much all publicly available information, so whatever way suits, bring it on.
Yeah, ditto to what Gordon has said. Google Brian Vickery, will all come up. We'd love to have a conversation.
Yeah, I don't want to say Google my name because I've been in a lot, Whānau. But open, transparent, happy to connect with everybody. I'm going to go have a drink if the bar's still open, so if you want to have a talk afterwards, happy to.
Everybody's got our email address, so they can contact us with that. But I'm making a point of going out to as many groups as going out to people as I can to give them the opportunity to speak to me then.
So as the others said, contact, our phone numbers are there, our emails are there. I do a lot of meeting of people in the supermarket. So, in the Inglewood supermarket, that's where I'll be half the time. 3 times a day because you just go down. You're that close. Like the others, going to other meetings until the elections are held. But I am available if you want to call me and have a conversation, it's not a problem.
Yes, I'm very, very active on social media. I've probably got the biggest following out of any councillor of people following that site. And anyone, and I get dozens and dozens, almost hundreds of messages a day on that medium. I want to be doing it differently this year and this term, and I wish I did this 3 or 4 years ago. Like I say, there's the QR code. It takes you straight to my homepage of my YouTube channel. Once a week I'll be putting videos up asking with your questions. So you leave your questions in the comments and I will do it, because they say a picture tells 1,000 words, a video tells 1,000,000 words. And I think that's the most interactive and modern way of communicating with the public. You can ask the questions and you get it straight from the horse's mouth. Not our 15 PR members, okay, that actually half the time don't know what they're talking about because it's all spin. You're going to hit it straight from us. Thank you.
I'm also very active on social media, as I've mentioned, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn, and I haven't actually taken up TikTok yet because my teenage son doesn't want me on there. My account is Teresa Gooden for Council, and it has my phone number and email there. You're welcome to email me or phone me anytime. I also have an office in the CBD where I work, and you're welcome to visit me there anytime or go for a cup of tea or coffee. And generally I'm really open to conversations and hearing people's thoughts, and you're welcome to contact me anytime before 9 p.m.
Like all the others, I'm on all the channels. If you want to actually discuss something about me, then happy to use that, any medium for that. But if it's something that you would like to discuss about you, then I would actually prefer to do it face to face. I think it's important to make that connection and listen to understand. So it's hard to do that through the other channels. So yep, like everyone, we're here to serve and yeah, reach out.
For my part, thank you to everybody. I'll ask Sheridan to close the meeting.
Just before we do all the thank yous, but can we just run down the line, just reminding everybody which ward you're with?
Kaiteki Ngāmuru General Ward.
I'm running the district-wide ward.
At large, district-wide, whole community.
Karangamā ward.
Kaiteki Ngāmotu.
District-wide ward.
Kaiteki Ngāmotu.
Kaitaki Ngāmotu.
Thank you. Just remember that when you're looking at which ward you're in and who you can get to vote for. We want to say a really big thank you to all the candidates that are here tonight. We really appreciate you making yourselves available for this event. We realise it's not easy to walk into a big room full of people and answer questions off the top of your head. We admire all of you for being prepared to come tonight and go through this process. We genuinely do. The voters also appreciate you making yourselves available and hearing your answers to these questions. Again to Peter, our moderator. Thanks so much for another night of bringing all these questions to life. Thanks also to Alex. And Dean on the video. Thanks again to all of our team who have been working very hard behind the scenes to make these events happen. And a big thank you to you, the audience, for coming to the event and your participation with all the questions. Just a couple of housekeeping things to cover. For any candidates here tonight, still some in the audience, still some up here on the stage. If you haven't taken the opportunity to promote yourself on our website, leave your name and email address on the way out the door, and we will be in touch about that. Voters really do want to hear what you have to say for this election. For any in the audience who have found value in what the candidates have had to say, please grab some business cards or some flyers on your way out to give to others you think will be interested in the information we have to share. This video is being shared with lots of people tonight will help a whole lot of people in your Plymouth understand who you're voting for the candidates. And I'd like to stress to everyone in the audience again tonight, as I did the other night, please do not vote too early. We're hearing of quite a few events that are going to be happening around town. We also have our second mayoral event with commitment that more candidates will attend the next one. We've got 2 more meetings with new candidates you can choose from this year. The last of those events is on the 15th of September. We'll be explaining the complex New Zealand voting system in smaller chunks. New Plymouth voting system, I think it was New Zealand, New Plymouth voting systems in smaller chunks, both on Facebook and by email, and that will be happening over the next month. We have answers to a questionnaire we've sent to all the candidates, and they are questions you want answers to. You need to view those answers before you vote. This will start rolling out on our website in early September. If you're talking to others about the election, please tell people about the election section on our website. We've tried to answer all the questions voters may have. So once again, thank you to everyone for coming tonight and making the night such a great success. And we wish all tonight's candidates success with their campaigns as well. Can we please have another round of applause?